Tēnā tātou katoa, no maira, good evening. The country has spoken and it wants tax cuts.
Our latest News Hub Reid-research poll found a majority of voters are keen on an income tax cut.
Our political editor Jenna Lynch joins us now with the numbers. Kia ora, Jenna.
Tax, tax, tax. It is the talk of the town this election. Nationals proposing income tax cuts paid for by cuts to government spending as well as new taxes on online gambling and overseas buyers. It's been called irresponsible by Labour and some economists. They say it'll add fuel to the inflation fire. So we asked you, is now the right time for income tax cuts? 51% said yes, now give us the money, while just 36.1% said no. So the National Party's main pitch this election is a clear winner with voters. But how did it stack up against Labour's GST-free fruit and veg pledge?
Oh, yes.
The way to a student's heart is not hard to find.
Tippy bought us donuts. No chicken or rice tonight.
Sugary sweet and totally irresistible, especially to the food-loving Labour leader.
You guys should do like a compilation of Chippy eats things.
Well, sir, if you insist. Muffins, a big brekkie, ice cream, a pie.
Good. Very good.
Look, it's not exhaustive, but the conspicuous absence, fruit and veg. Weird, given his GST pledge. The students he visited have taken to growing their own as the cost of living crisis chews through their minimal budgets. So they're quite into his GST off fruit and veg policy.
I don't notice the tax, but like paying for the fruit and veggies, it's just like, oh, I'm not going to buy veggies.
It's too expensive. You can see why people don't.
It's definitely important to have that push of putting the healthy foods.
You don't really notice the tax cut. You're like, oh, sure.
But one swayed by the other team's tax cut.
The tax cut sounds pretty good to me.
And she's not the only one. We asked in our latest News Hub Reid-research poll which team's tax policy voters prefer, and more, 43% said they want a tax cut versus the 37.3% that like the idea of cheaper fruit and veg. 15.9% said neither were good, and the rest didn't know.
New Zealanders don't vote on single issues. I think they'll look at the balance of what political parties are offering.
But Hipkins knows the tax cut's a winner on face value. He wants voters to dig a little deeper.
The National Party should release their secret costings. They should show New Zealanders how they're actually going to pay for the commitments that they are making.
Aside from how to pay for it, the big unanswered question, will tax cuts make the cost of living crisis worse?
As we've said before, no, because we are funding it from cutting wasteful government spending.
They're going to do huge damage to New Zealand's economy if they start hosing money into the economy with no idea of how they're going to pay for that.
Are you solely relying on people saving it or putting on their mortgage to make sure that they're not inflationary?
No.
But Luxon can't explain how funneling billions of extra cash into the economy, funded partly through new money from new taxes, will not fuel the inflation crisis.
People that are working here in this factory that woke up at 7 a.m. this morning, got their kids to school, pay their taxes, slog their guts out and still can't get ahead. So this is going to give them relief to be able to do exactly that.
Immediate relief, perhaps.
Hope's on the way, team. Hope's on the way.
But at what cost?
So, Jenna, Labour's offering is not as popular. Are we likely to see them go back on the attack more?
Yeah, the parties have been out campaigning for just over a week now, and we've seen Labour lurch away from the politics of kindness, taking aim at the Nats and trying their hand at attack. So we asked voters whether they thought each of the leaders were running a positive or negative election campaign. The verdict, 43% of people thought Chris Hipkins was running a positive campaign. More people, 47.9%, thought Christopher Luxon was. When it came to who was running a negative campaign, 36.6% felt Hipkins was, 33.7% said Luxon. Hipkins was again out on the attack today, casting doubt about National's costings, and with a majority responding that they want a tax cut, expect him to keep lashing National about their numbers.
Tēnā koe, Jenna.